The ranger found it at dawn. A human skull, wedged between two rocks at the edge of Skull Cliff. But when he reached down to pull it free, it was still warm. Few people know the real name of that ledge. The Park Service doesn't mark it on any map. Locals just call it the place where people stop. Not where they fall, where they stop. And what's left behind isn't always explained. This is what really happened, deep in the Grand Canyon, where the wind doesn't reach and the silence listens back. The desert doesn't forget. It keeps things, bones, names, secrets pressed into stone. And sometimes, late at night, when the moon hangs low over the canyon walls, those secrets start to move. These are 8 news stories, true accounts, documented disappearances, unexplained findings, whispers that echo through the red dust long after the voices are gone. Before we descend into the canyon, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Because here at Chills from Reality, every story leaves a mark, one you might not forget. And trust me, you'll want to remember where you heard this. Let's begin. It was October when Sarah Mitchell's hiking group reached the South Rim Trail. 5 experienced climbers. Clear weather, perfect visibility. They set up camp just before sunset, near a formation the guide refused to name. "We don't talk about that spot," he said. "Not after dark." But Sarah was curious. She asked why. The guide looked at her for a long moment. Then he pointed toward a narrow ledge, barely visible in the fading light. "People see things there," he whispered. "Things that shouldn't be seen." That night, Sarah woke to footsteps. Slow, deliberate, circling the tents. She unzipped the flap and looked outside. The moon was full, the canyon stretched endlessly below, and standing at the edge of the cliff, a figure. Tall, motionless, facing away. She called out. No response. She stepped closer. The figure didn't move. Closer. Still nothing. And then it turned. Not its body, just its head, all the way around. 180 degrees. Bone cracking in the silence. Sarah screamed. The others rushed out, but when they looked, no one was there. Just footprints leading to the edge and stopping right where the ground ended. The guide packed up immediately. Wouldn't explain. Wouldn't wait for morning. As they descended in the dark, Sarah looked back and saw it again, standing exactly where she'd seen it before, watching them leave. Still facing the wrong way. They reported it to park officials. The report was filed, then buried. No investigation, no follow-up, just a note in the system. Incident at unnamed formation. No action required. Sarah never went back, but sometimes, late at night, she still hears those footsteps. Slow, deliberate, circling. In 2019, a geology student named Marcus Chen was mapping rock formations near Skeleton Point. Standard research, routine expedition. He was supposed to be back by noon. He wasn't. Search teams went out at dusk, found his equipment, his water, his notebook, all arranged in a perfect circle. But no Marcus. They searched for 3 days. Helicopters, dogs, infrared, nothing. On the 4th day, a ranger spotted something near Skull Cliff. A pile of stones stacked carefully, deliberately. And on top, Marcus's glasses. Folded neatly, lenses facing down. Beneath the stones, they found a journal. Not his research notes, a new one. Handwritten. Frantic. The first entry was dated the night he disappeared. I found a cave. It wasn't on any map. The entrance was hidden behind a rock slide. Inside, symbols. Carved into the walls. Older than anything I've studied. And at the back of the cave, a doorway leading down. The entries got shorter, more erratic. I can hear singing, but there's no one here. The walls are breathing. I see faces in the stone. They're watching me. The final entry was just one sentence. They're not fossils. Marcus was never found. The cave was never located. Park officials sealed the journal, classified it as delusional ramblings. But the stones are still there, still stacked. And sometimes hikers report hearing singing deep in the canyon, where no one should be. A family from Ohio visited in the summer of 2021. The Caldwells, parents, and 2 kids. They took the Bright Angel Trail, popular route, crowded, safe. But on the way back up, their youngest daughter, Emma, stopped walking, just froze, staring at the cliff wall. "Mommy," she whispered, "why is that man inside the rock?" Her mother looked, saw nothing. "There's no one there, sweetie." But Emma wouldn't move. She pointed. "Right there! He's waving at me!" Her father crouched down. "Emma, you're tired. Let's keep going." "He says his name is Thomas. He says he's been here a long time. He wants me to come closer." The parents exchanged glances. The father picked Emma up. She started screaming, thrashing. "No, let me go! Thomas needs help! He's stuck! He can't get out!" They carried her up the trail. She cried the entire way. That night, in the hotel, she drew pictures. A man, inside stone, his mouth open, screaming. She wrote a name at the bottom, Thomas Greaves. Out of curiosity, her father looked it up. Thomas Greaves, hiker. Disappeared in 1987, last seen near Bright Angel Trail. Never found. His case was still open. The Caldwells left the next morning. Emma stopped talking about Thomas. But before they drove away, her father looked back at the canyon, and for just a moment, he swore he saw it too. A shape in the rock, pressed against the surface from the inside. Hands flat against stone, mouth open, silent. He didn't tell his wife. He didn't need to. She'd seen it too. Would you go back to a place where the stones remember? Where the canyon holds more than geology? Tell me in the comments if you've ever felt watched in the wild. In 2020, a photographer named Lena Ruiz was capturing sunrise shots near the rim. She was alone, experienced. She knew the area well. At 5:47 a.m., she took a photo of the canyon, checked the image, noticed something strange. A figure, standing on a distant ledge. She zoomed in. A person, definitely a person, dressed in old clothing, facing the sun. She looked up. The ledge was empty. She checked the photo again. The figure was still there. She took another shot, reviewed it. The figure had moved closer, much closer. Now it was looking at the camera. Lena's hands started shaking. She took one more photo. The figure was gone, but in the place it had been standing, a skull, balanced perfectly on a rock. She packed her gear and left, reported it to rangers. They went to investigate, found the ledge, found the rock. No skull, no sign anyone had been there in months. But when they checked Lena's photos on her camera, the figure was still in them. Every single shot, getting closer, closer, until in the final image, it was standing right behind her. Lena never returned to the canyon. She deleted every photo, but sometimes, late at night, she opens her deleted folder, and they're still there, waiting. A retired police officer named Daniel Cross went hiking alone in March 2022. He was 71, healthy, cautious. He told his wife he'd be back by 3. At 4:15, she called Park Services. Search teams deployed immediately. Found him at 6:30, sitting on the edge of Skull Cliff, unharmed, unresponsive. They brought him down, checked his vitals. Physically, he was fine, but he wouldn't speak, wouldn't blink, just stared straight ahead. They took him to the hospital, ran tests, brain function normal, no trauma, no drugs. No explanation. 3 days later, he started talking, but only to say one thing. They showed me. His wife asked what they showed him. He looked at her, eyes empty. Where we go after? He refused to elaborate, refused therapy, refused to discuss it. But his wife noticed something. Every night, he'd wake up at exactly 3:12 a.m., walk to the window, stare west, toward the canyon. One night, she followed him, asked what he was looking at. He didn't turn around, just whispered, "They're waiting." Who's waiting? All of them. Daniel Cross died 6 months later. Heart attack. Sudden. The autopsy found nothing unusual, but at his funeral, his wife opened his wallet. Inside, folded carefully, was a note in his handwriting, written the day before he died. Don't let them take you to the edge. In 2023, a couple celebrating their anniversary took a helicopter tour. Standard route, licensed pilot, clear skies. But 15 minutes into the flight, the pilot's voice came through the headsets, shaking. Do you see that? The couple looked where he was pointing. A figure, standing on an impossible ledge. No trail leading to it. No way up or down. Just standing, arms raised, facing the helicopter. The pilot circled back. The figure was gone. He radioed the tower, reported it. They told him to return. He did. But as they flew over the spot one last time, the couple saw something. A message, carved into the rock face, fresh, deep. Turn back. The pilot saw it too. He logged the incident, filed a report, requested an investigation. The next day, park officials went to examine the site. The message was gone. The rock face was smooth, untouched, like it had never been there. But the couple has the photos. They posted them online. The images went viral, then disappeared, removed. No explanation, no trace. The pilot quit 2 weeks later, moved to Colorado. He doesn't talk about what happened, but his wife says he still has nightmares. Always the same, a figure on a ledge watching him fly. And this time, it jumps. A solo backpacker named Elliot Shaw was camping near Phantom Ranch in August 2023. Experienced, well prepared. On his second night, he heard something, a voice, calling his name. He sat up, looked around. No one. He checked his perimeter. Empty. The voice came again, closer, clearer. Elliot! He grabbed his flashlight, scanned the darkness. Nothing, but the voice kept calling. Over and over. Elliot! Elliot! He followed it, against every instinct, against all logic. The voice led him to a ravine, narrow, dark. At the bottom, a body, decomposed, weeks old, clothes torn, face gone, and on the wrist, a bracelet with a name engraved. Elliot Shaw! He stumbled back, ran to his camp, radioed for help. Rangers arrived at dawn. They went to the ravine. Found nothing. No body, no bracelet, no evidence anyone had been there. But when they checked Elliot's wrist, the bracelet was gone. He swore he'd been wearing it. Swore it. They searched his gear, his tent, his pack. Never found it. Elliot left the canyon that morning. Hasn't been back. But sometimes, late at night, he hears it. His own voice calling from somewhere far away. Elliot, Elliot. Last year, November 2024, a group of college students camped illegally near Skull Cliff. They'd heard the stories, wanted to see for themselves. They set up at dusk, built a fire, told ghost stories, laughed it off. At midnight, the fire went out. No wind, no rain, just out. They tried to relight it. Wouldn't catch. One of the students, Josh, shone his flashlight toward the cliff edge and saw them, dozens of them, figures standing in a line, silent, watching. Guys! Guys, he whispered, we need to leave. They packed in silence, didn't speak, didn't look back. As they hiked out, one of the girls, Mara, glanced over her shoulder. The figures were following, slow, steady, matching their pace exactly. She told the others. They moved faster. The figures moved faster. They ran. The figures ran. At the trailhead, they jumped into the car and drove. For 20 minutes, no one spoke. Then Josh checked the rearview mirror. A face pressed against the back window from the inside. He swerved. The car spun. When they stopped, they checked the back seat. Empty, but on the window, a handprint. Small, child-sized, pressed into the condensation from the inside. They reported it. Police found nothing. No prints, no evidence. But the group hasn't been the same. They don't talk anymore. Don't meet up. Because each of them separately has seen it. The figure. Standing outside their windows late at night, watching, waiting. The canyon keeps its secrets. Rangers won't talk about Skull Cliff. The name isn't official. It's not on any map. But locals know. They avoid it. Especially at night. Especially when the wind is still. Because that's when you can hear them. The whispers rising from the stone, calling names. Names of people who haven't been there in years. Names of people who never made it out. Some say it's the wind, some say it's geology. But the ones who've been there, who've stood at the edge and looked down into that endless red dark, they know better. The canyon doesn't let go. It collects bones, souls, stories, and when you stand too close to the edge, it starts collecting you too. If this story made your skin crawl, hit that like button and subscribe. Because here at Chills from Reality, the fear doesn't end when the story does. And the canyon is always listening. Tell me in the comments, have you ever been somewhere that felt like it didn't want you to leave? Somewhere that watched you long after you thought you were safe? Because out there in the red dust and ancient stone, something is still waiting. And it knows your name. The desert heat shimmered across the rocks, but inside the canyon, near the place they call Skull Cliff, the temperature dropped, cold enough to see your breath, cold enough to feel the silence pressing against your skin like ice water. A search and rescue volunteer named Patricia Vance told me this story 3 months ago. She made me promise not to use her real name. I'm honoring that promise. But what she told me, it needs to be heard. In September 2024, Patricia was part of a team searching for a missing teenager, 17-year-old boy, last seen near the Kaibab Trail. His phone had pinged one final location before going dark, right at the base of an unmarked cliff face. The team split up. Patricia took the western approach, steep, treacherous. She'd been climbing for 40 minutes when she found something. A shoe, small, child-sized, placed carefully on a flat rock, laces tied, clean, like someone had just taken it off. She radioed it in, dispatch confirmed. No missing children in the area, no reports, nothing. She photographed it and kept moving. 10 minutes later, she found another one. Same size, same brand. Also placed carefully. Also clean. She stopped. Something was wrong. The shoes led deeper into a crevasse, a gap between two massive rocks, barely wide enough to fit through. She squeezed inside. Her flashlight beam cut through the darkness, and at the back of the space, hundreds of them. Shoes, all sizes, all ages, all arranged in neat rows. Some looked decades old, leather cracked, soles rotted. Others looked new, fresh, worn yesterday. Patricia backed out, fast, radioed for backup. But when the team arrived an hour later, the crevasse was empty. Just bare rock. No shoes, no evidence, nothing. Except Patricia's photos. She still had them. Clear images, hundreds of shoes. The team examined the photos, examined the location, couldn't explain it, couldn't rationalize it. One of the senior rangers pulled her aside. "You need to delete those," he said quietly. "Why?" "Because if you don't, they'll know you saw them." "Who will know?" The ranger looked at her, really looked at her. "The ones who left them there." Patricia deleted the photos, requested a transfer, moved to a different park. She told me she still has nightmares. Always the same. She's walking through the canyon, and behind her, footsteps, dozens of them. But when she turns around, nobody's there. Just trails of small footprints in the dust, leading toward her, getting closer, closer. She wakes up before they reach her. But one morning, she found something on her doorstep. A single shoe, child-sized, placed carefully, laces tied. She moved again, didn't tell anyone where, but 2 weeks ago, she sent me a message, just 3 words. "They found me." I haven't heard from her since. Could you trust your own eyes if you saw something impossible? Would you report it, or would you stay silent, knowing some things are better left unseen? There's a legend among the canyon guides. They don't tell tourists, they don't write it down, but late at night around campfires when the wind picks up and the stars disappear behind clouds, they whisper it. They say the canyon was a burial ground, long before maps, long before names. The ancient ones brought their dead here, not to bury them, to release them. They believed the canyon was a doorway, a threshold, between this world and the next. And they say the doorway never closed. In 2018, a documentary crew came to film. They wanted to capture the canyon at night. Infrared cameras, audio equipment, professional setup. On their third night, around 2 a.m., every camera went dead. Simultaneously. No explanation. Batteries full. Equipment functional. Just dead. The sound engineer, a man named Victor, checked the audio files. The last recording before the cameras died. He heard something. A voice. Distant, echoing, speaking a language he didn't recognize. He cleaned up the audio, enhanced it, isolated the voice. It was counting, backwards, in a dialect that hadn't been spoken in over 400 years. Victor sent the file to a linguistics professor. She identified it, confirmed it, then called him back, told him to destroy the recording, told him never to play it again. When he asked why, she said something that made his blood freeze. Because whoever is speaking is answering someone. The crew left that night, packed everything, didn't finish the documentary. Victor kept the recording, against advice, against reason. He told his friends he wanted to understand it, wanted to translate the rest. 3 weeks later, Victor disappeared, left his apartment, left his car, left everything. His laptop was found open, the audio file playing on loop, but Victor was gone. Police investigated, found nothing. His case went cold, but his roommate told reporters something strange. The night before Victor disappeared, he'd been talking to someone. The roommate heard him through the door, having a conversation. But when he checked, Victor was alone in the room, talking to the darkness, responding to questions the roommate couldn't hear. The laptop is in evidence lockup. The file is still there, sealed, classified. No one is allowed to listen to it. But sometimes, late at night, officers working the overnight shift hear something coming from the evidence room. A voice, distant, counting backwards. They don't investigate. They don't report it. They just turn up the radio and wait for morning. Do you believe in places that remember? Places that hold on to the past so tightly, they pull it back into the present. The Grand Canyon is over 6 million years old, carved by water, shaped by wind, witness to empires rising and falling, to lives beginning and ending, and maybe, just maybe, it remembers every footstep, every breath, every soul that stood at the edge and looked down into forever. And when the night is quiet enough, when the wind stops and the stars hold still, those memories start to wake up. They move through the shadows. They whisper through the stones. They reach out, looking for something familiar, looking for someone who remembers them back. That's when people disappear. Not by falling, not by accident, but by recognition. The canyon recognizes something in them, something old, something it's been waiting for, and it calls them home. If you ever visit the Grand Canyon, if you ever stand at the edge and feel something watching you, don't look too long into the dark, because the longer you stare, the more it sees you. And once it sees you, it doesn't forget. It never forgets.